Um, I see. Okay. Hello, New Thought Tuesdays.
Oh,
Well,
are we
welcome.
on yet?
We are on. We
We're
are.
on. Okay.
We're here. We're thriving. Um, Welcome to New Thought Tuesdays. The soul's calling, aligning your true purpose, aligning with it, listening to it, and finding it. That's what we're talking about today. We are talking about the soul. What the heck is the soul? And how do I listen to it? How do I know that it's talking to me? And how do I know somebody else hasn't cut into the line when I'm talking to soul? So, welcome to New Thought Tuesdays. We've got a community of people who are committed to, dedicated to, and uplifted by the idea of your thoughts are things.
Yeah.
And you have the power to choose the thoughts that you choose. And if you change your thinking, you will change your life. You will change your world. And I'm Dean Regan, and this is Rich Smith. Hey, Rich.
Hey, welcome. Welcome to Soul's Journey. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. I actually have one of my books is called The Soul's Journey.
the soul's journey.
Yeah. So,
And how do we get that book, Mr. Smith?
it's not, I didn't really publish it yet.
You haven't published it yet.
I'm
Well,
working
that's
on it.
the instant you do. I want to see it.
Yeah, that's one of my what's coming up in my visioning. I'm taking a class in visioning right now, is to finish my books, get them out there
Yes.
on Amazon. I just went to a book reading at Barnes and Noble for a friend who wrote a book.
Oh,
And she said,
cool.
Richard, I made a lot of mistakes. Come to me, I'll help you publish your books so you don't make the same mistakes. So it's good to have community. People who have been there before.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Bought the t-shirt. So, Mr. Smith, this idea of the soul and listening to comprehending and having an awareness of listening to comprehending, having an awareness of your soul's calling. The first thing I think we ought to kind of identify is what the heck is a soul? Richard, what is a soul? So Ernest Holmes, who is a New Thought, Ancient Wisdom philosopher, he viewed the soul as kind of he called it the eternal and spiritual essence expressed in, through, and as each individual. So this eternal spiritual, so not of the human realm so much, encompassing the human realm, but this essence, this awareness. When I think about the soul, I go back to the idea of it's not so much, and I use the word God. It's not so much that God exists as God is existence, and so the soul is really that source of intelligence, creativity, higher faculties, and it transcends the limitations of this human experience, though it encompasses the human's experience, and it encompasses the body, it encompasses the thinking, it encompasses the personal ego. So this is, it's just, to me it just feels like this infinite warmth of creativity, which is great because we have a lot of folks who are creative professionals in our magnificent community. This sense of the soul being infinite creativity. So that's what I've got for it. What do you think,
Your
Mr.
soul's calling. For me, what the soul is that when we're born as pure spirit, and then we come into this world and the physical takes place, where we start to learn about ourselves and people around us and our situations and stuff like that. And and so therefore we become disconnected from our true essence of who we are as a spiritual being living a physical experience. And for me, the soul is that part of you that's the divine that's expressing itself in and as and through you that you're connected to. So the whole idea for me is getting back to the connection with the infinite, what I call the infinite filmmaker. It's getting back to the essence of the truth of who you are who you were created to become in this world. And a lot of times, we can get distracted. We can say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I think I'm this, and I think I'm that. And then you move ahead, and then you look back and you go, well, I'm not my authentic self. I don't feel authentic. I don't feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing on this planet. I'm just doing it to make money or to keep the relationship going or whatever. And so that to me is the soul. It's getting back to that soul essence of who you are as a unique, individualized expression of the infinite creator of all that is.
So that who you are-ness,
Yeah.
that infinite who you are quality, that transcends the humanness, but includes it. It's like
Yeah.
the soul. So okay, so folks have been this has been kind of coming up more recently. Folks have been asking about the soul and how do I experience, how do I determine what my soul's calling me to do? What is my true purpose? And so I should explain, today is a part of a three-part New Thought Tuesdays. We're going to do today, we're going to be talking about the soul, what the soul is, and how we can be aware of it, how we can recognize our connection with it. We're always connected with it. It's really a matter of us recognizing that connection. Then next week, we're going to talk about this comes up a lot. It's like, well, how do I know it's the soul and not just my intelligence, my thinking, my human laundry list? So we're going to be talking a bit next week about the ego. And then in the third week, we're going to bring it all together in that we're going to be talking about the soul,
Yeah.
how we listen to that soul, how we identify soul, not soul, soul, not soul, soul, not soul, and bring it all together in our third week. So today we're talking about, as we said, what is the soul? So we've talked about this infinite creativity. We've talked about this beingness that expresses in, as, and through you. Okay, that's
Hmm.
that's pretty big. How do we connect to that? Are we connected to that? How do we hear that? Sup with that? How do we do this? I'm full of questions. I shouldn't be co-hosting today. No, I'm talking about the questions I think we all have. And so the first thing that Rich and I really wanted to talk about was that connection to source. That
Reconnecting.
reconnecting. Well, I think we're always connected. I feel that we're always connected. I think that we realize it or we don't realize it. It's like God, that infinite filmmaker, as you say, that idea that we're living in concert with, that music of the universe is always present. It's a matter of whether or not we're mindful of it and we're actually harnessing that amazing energy, or if we're trying to separate from it and do our own thing. So
Yeah.
the reconnection, that connection, our awareness of it feels like a reconnection. It's this journey to reconnecting with that divine source in recognizing that is essential spiritual nature of
Yeah.
that self. So there's the small s self, that kind of human self. There's a large S self, that infinite quality of self, and that idea of listening to, identifying. I call it listening to. It could be seeing, it could be feeling. Really, it's interpreting that sense of the infinite power and presence that we call soul through that connection. How do you acknowledge that connection? Is there any practice that you do, Rich, as far as getting in contact with that, as you were saying, that reconnection with the soul?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about it and I jotted down some notes here on what is the process, especially what I went through. But just speaking to you guys out there as creatives in the entertainment business, let's say that you're an accomplished filmmaker, an actor, writer, a musician, and you've had some kind of, some success in your life, and you just feel like, there's something more, there's something deeper, a deeper purpose in life. And so you begin to align yourself with, like an idea that, creativity is an expression of the divine within. And then you start to understand that you have a role in this life as an expression of the infinite. You were created for a specific purpose in life. And you begin to embark on like a journey of self-discovery where you start deepening yourself, your connection with the divine through spiritual teachings like New Thought Tuesdays. Come here on New Thought Tuesdays. We have a member who's been coming faithfully, and he's been getting all kinds of successes. He's won these screenwriting awards, and exactly. Well, come into the inner circle. Ron will tell you about a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
his
there.
successes. Yeah. Yeah, he won a lot of screenplay festivals and stuff like that. He's been entered into. They're going to do a reading of one of his scripts and videotape it and send it to him. So, we'll be talking to Ron later, but that's what it's about. It's about embracing that soul's calling, you know, that essence of who we are. And when you reconnect with the divine, then you start recognizing that what you've been working on before it's not calling to you. It's not calling to your people. There's something within you that is calling you forth to this work, to this soul essence, to this soul discovery of who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose in life? Not the purpose that the ego tells you, but the purpose that the soul tells you. And that's what we're going to go into in the third week here. How do you, how do you decide between what is ego and what is soul calling?
So this connection with the soul through, in my case, I think it's the acknowledgement of the connection of the soul. I tend to go into meditation when I really am wanting to listen peacefully to that information, the impulses of mind. And by mind, I say capital M mind, the impulses of my soul. I generally go into meditation. And in meditation, there is the kind of the monkey mind. Sometimes there's a laundry list of things that can go on, and that's all fine and good. In meditation,
It works too.
in
Calm you down.
meditation, we allow our awareness to get broader, higher, deeper, wider, to go beyond the human thinking and to become aware of that awareness. It's that idea of the watcher, the identifier of all that is, expressing as Dean, as expressing as Rich, expressing as each one of us. So it's there that I begin to acknowledge my embracing of the soul itself. And this is part of the spiritual growth that I'm part of. And another way to do it now, meditation is one you've been talking about, or we've both been talking about visioning, using the visioning process. And Rich, you're actually doing a class right now in visioning over at Agape. And so you can use these questions that come with visioning to allow your human brain to relax a bit and allow your intuition, your spiritual inspiration to show itself to you. And how it shows itself to you is unique. As I was saying, I hear things sometimes, I will see things sometimes, I'll feel things, or there have even been aromas and tastes in what I become aware of. But earlier, you were just talking and just rattle off that our creative projects can have more depth
Yeah.
as connect in with our soul's calling. And that there is, we tend to, I've got a creative project. I thought it up. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I'm called to do. This is the idea that I have. Well, it may well be soul's calling. It may well be the ego coming in as well. And so there's many great things to be learned from the ego itself, but being able to be aware of what is a greater calling and how that magnificent intelligence can ease its way into your creative projects, into your choices of projects that you're going to be working on, whether it's another job or a creative project, it comes from the listening, comes from the atoning with that soul, the awareness of the soul. And we were talking about each soul is they have a unique purpose. So each of us has our own unique purpose, our own unique expression. And that expression comes to us oftentimes through our personal strengths, our passions, our talents. I think the key thing with the soul has to do with this sense of peacefulness, this sense of perhaps excitement. Doesn't have to be quiet. Sense of joy, sense of expansiveness, sense of possibility. These feeling tones that we experience when we become more aware of our soul and what our soul is communicating to us open up our possibilities. And I speak into this right now because we'll talk more about this next week, but when it is feeling frustrated, angry, competitive, judgmental, when those are the feeling tones of what you sense is coming from your soul, that's the ego. And again, next week, we're going to talk all about the ego. We're going to talk about how to identify it, how to appreciate it, mainly how to live with it and use it to your highest and best good. With the soul, these strengths, these passions, these talents that we have come out in a much more harmonious kind of way. There's even a sense of joy in them, that following the soul's calling can brings this sense of joy. Joy.
Yeah, yeah. You were talking about visioning, and that's something that I am taking the class. And one of the things that's coming up for me is something that I've been fighting for a long time. It was like, no, I just want to teach spiritual principles to filmmakers and coach, and become like a teacher, a leader type of person. And lately, what's been coming up for me in the visioning process is a healing calling. And I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm only in my second week of the program, but I'm really going with it and saying, okay, this has come up before and I've kind of pushed it away. Healing, I don't want to work in healing and healing people, but it could be not just physical healing of ailments and sicknesses. It's the healing of the nation. It's the healing of the mind. It's the healing of the consciousness that people have that are keeping them, especially us creatives in the entertainment business, that are keeping us from doing, and having exactly what we want in life, because we're out there trying really hard to make something happen. And when you connect with spirit, with your soul essence, you don't have to make anything happen. It'll just reveal itself, This whole healing thing, came up, and then my wife had a friend over, and she's ill, and very ill actually, and she isn't now because we did a treatment for her, but it just came up, and I said, is it okay if I do a prayer treatment with you? And she said, yeah. She didn't really know what it was, but we did it. And the next day I saw her, and she said, I have slept better than I've ever slept before in the last 2 days. And so it's like, okay, so the universe will start sending you people, places, and things that are in alignment with your higher purpose in life, who you are. If you're a writer and you're writing novels, but you're also writing screenplays and writing all these other things, you got a blog you're writing on, and you're confused. Oh, where do I really want to go? Do I want to finish my book? Do I want to finish my screenplay? Do I want to just focus totally on my blog? Just go within and ask, you know, and you'll start to get the right answer. The right people, places, and things will start to show up for your success. And you can't help but being successful when you're in alignment with spirit and the authenticity of who you are as a spiritual being, as a vessel for this creative force that we call God to express through you. You can't help but being successful because what you're doing is you're allowing that divine presence within you to express itself in such a unique way as you, the only person that can do it in this way, whatever it is that you're meant to be doing. You are so unique. You're a unique emanized, unique individualized emanization of the infinite. And so for me, that's what that unique expression is all about that you were talking about, with your passions and your talents and your strengths. Who knows them better than the creator of your life? God, infinite filmmaker, knows you better than you even know yourself. And allow it, I call it, to use you. Allow this source energy, this force to use you in a way that only you can be used.
I love that.
That doesn't sound right, does it?
I love that.
But
No,
use me. Use me.
use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I was. Anyway,
Right in. That's Ricky Byers Beckwith,
yes,
Michael Beck.
God bless her. Use me, oh God.
Something like
So
that.
I think we're about ready to go into the inner circle and bring this home and talk with the folks in the community about this. So we're talking about the idea of the soul, how you identify it, how you listen to it, how it sounds to you, how it feels to you. That's what we're going to be talking about today in the inner circle. If you want to be part of the inner circle, you can go to www.newthoughttuesdays.com and click on I want to be reminded, and we will send you 2 gentle emails each week with the link so you can become part of this conversation and share your strengths, your talents, your wisdom within the inner circle.
Yeah.
Join this community. And so that's how you can join us. We're going to go into the inner circle right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being with us today. We are sending you great love.
Thank you. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Take care.